Welcome to Caldwell County Today. Welcome to a special edition of Caldwell County Today. I'm Paige Counts, Public Information Officer, and for the final time, I'm joined by Keegan Matheson.
Hello.
And sticking with us is Eric Stafford.
Had you worried there for a minute, didn't you?
Yeah, no, as you worried, I would be in a special padded room if that were happening. I can't lose both. But we are saying goodbye to Keegan today.
Oh.
He's moving on to bigger things.
Oh, bigger.
We're proud of him.
Bigger building.
True. I'll give you that.
But
bigger building.
We're going to miss him, but we thought before we let him go, we would roast him. we would tell Keegan stories. Keegan can tell stories on us because we don't care.
I'm excited to see what you come up with. I mean, I don't know.
Oh.
It's a dark place.
Oh, no.
Dark place.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, tune in, folks. This is going to be a very entertaining.
It's going to be an interesting show.
Very dark.
Keegan, I think your first assignment with us was the Butterfly Festival.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah, that was, I was wearing my Batman shirt that day. Ready, rip-roaring, ready for a new job. It's my 20-hour-a-week part-time boy. Just fresh out of college. Making it happen, and Eric had me on camera, the first shoot I had, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect to be on camera today.
Yeah, that's a WHKY tradition that I brought
yeah.
over.
Yeah, you gotta christen them.
Gotta go ahead, get them out there, get used to it, because it's gonna happen. And it didn't take you long. You started, having your own content.
Right.
It didn't take long.
Right, I ease myself into content as well, I guess.
But you've created a lot of content for us and your own shows.
Well, Eric messed up when he said the first time, he was like, you can just make your own show. And I'm like, oh, really? So I did the Vinyl Voyage. Me and Dad did Call Excursions. What else?
The sports show.
Sports show. Yep. Basically concert boy, so I saw all the local music and stuff. So
he knows everybody's set list.
I do know set lists. Yes,
of all the local musicians.
Especially shout out to Strictly Clean and Decent.
Yeah, he's seen him more than anybody.
That's true.
I would have to say.
I'm biggest fan of that.
Yeah, because of COVID though, but they kept it out there and they kept going. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been performing. So you've done that. You've parades.
Parades.
Yep. Oh. We actually had a historical parade this last year because it was you and your dad. And your dad's hosted them for however many years. And my wife even said, why are you shooting it? And I'm like, because it's always been Kevin doing it. And I said, I wanted Kevin and Keegan to do it. And I said, so I'm fine. Why were you even shooting it? That's what I got. So she was like,
well, I'm glad you did. That was a good time. I liked being
other than Ronnie shaking the scaffold I was on, I was fine. Yeah, I was fine other than the earthquake.
Ronnie Hendricks scaring you a little bit.
I weighed a little more then. I was a little scared. I was scared about that. But the first day, talking about the Butterfly Festival.
Okay.
I do remember, he was fresh out of college. We walked down the street there in Hudson, on the main drag in Hudson, and we're going to each different place. And I learned a lot about Keegan on this first day because I'm trying to think of the name of the food cart, but the island cart, I'm trying to think of what the name of it is. But anyway, it's a church. And the lady's like, y'all want some subs? And he's like, no. Because she had curry chicken. It was curry chicken subs. And she was like, you want a curry chicken sub? And he's like, no. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll eat it. And I made him tape me eating it. And but at the same time, I was like, you sure you don't want one? And he's like, no. So I found out he was a vegetarian then, or mostly vegetarian, I'll say. Mostly vegetarian. But anyway, so I was chunking down the chicken, but he was like, nope, not doing it. And we also walked down the street and we were going past all the political people that were out that particular, I don't know why, it was May. It was May, and there was people already out. I don't know if we were having a primary or what, but we were walking down through there, and all he said was to me, just kind of under his breath, and one of his isms, one of his comments was, he was like, well, you can tell you're not in Raleigh anymore. And I was like, oh, okay. So that was pretty good. And I'm trying to think of, and then of course, Chad, who's no longer with us. It was in what's Chad's last name? I forget.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah,
Chad Coffee, of all people. And he showed us the meth mouth.
Yep.
And
yeah,
that was like,
that was a good first taste.
Yeah, we were thinking it was a model of tooth decay, you know, like from
tooth
normal
decay.
tooth decay. And I said, is that like normal tooth decay? And he's like, no, that's meth mouth. And I was like, okay. And it just kind of stayed in. But it was like, it was just, you could hear the needle pull on the record. But that was the first day. And then, wow. I mean, there's been a lot of crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there was two guys, I will say this, there was two guys that auditioned for this part. I say auditioned, but anyway.
Hey.
Keegan was like by far the standout because the other guy didn't even want to work. and I kept telling Human Services, I was like, we got to get Keegan, because Keegan had actually shot videos that I had edited before he come to work here. So he had shot stuff with his dad with the city, and then they just gave me the tapes, and I'm like, oh, he knows what we do. He's got to come work here. And so that's how that ended up happening. But, I mean, other than being incredibly overqualified, and the other guy had no qualifications. I mean, but it was like, yeah, okay. So it was a no-brainer, so, you know.
I remember walking into the room, and it was you and Jimmy, and I was like, putting this back interrogation room right here. And I'm like, what kind of place is this? Check it. But everybody's been nice to me from the jump. I can't complain about anybody.
The one thing you hear is, oh, where's Keegan? You didn't bring Keegan with you today?
Yeah, you get that.
Everywhere I go, you didn't bring Keegan. No, I came for a meeting and he's editing video. But it's
he's doing his job, and I'm doing my job. Yeah.
And Keegan actually was here before I came aboard.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a few months.
A few months, yeah.
I started May 1st of 2019. You came on when?
August 1st of
August
2019.
Yeah, so we had a few months without you, and then we just got the whole band. Like
we got the whole band, and that was what I got to say when because they have a department head meeting every month, and so I was the only person in my department, so I was going to the department head meeting. You know, if anybody need anything, then I'm here, and I was going to those, and anyway, somebody said, you know, what do you got this month, Eric? And I'm like, I have a department. It's not just me. Yeah. We got Paige coming, and Keegan's already here, and so that was it was a big deal. And actually, Luann Kincaid put in for you to get hired. That was before she passed away. And I will say this. I'm going to say this on air right now because I know some people have even asked me, but I will say I was too upset to do a show about her, and I didn't, and I should have, and she'll remind me of that once I get to the pearly gates, I guess. But the thing of it is it was too much, and I was the only person that was here at the time, and I was just like, nope, not going to do it. And since then, other members of her family that I met during that time have passed away, so it's kind of like a lot of them are gone. So it's like, you know. But I'll always think of her and think of her being here. But it was just a bad time, and I was like, I'm not going to emphasize this. But plenty of people in the public, when I went out, they were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I had a lot of people giving me condolences about it, and so it was a big shock. But these two guys come in, stepped up, took over, got it going. And we had a department.
And I will say, at first I think Keegan, I don't know if he just didn't know what to think of me, if he was being shy, and he was like, I don't know about her.
Oh, no.
Like, I could hear him and Eric talking like they were best buds, but like, I would walk in the room and Keegan was like, radio silence.
I think he was just scared, at the beginning of the school year, new teacher kind of thing. It was kind of like the new teacher, and he was like, oh, make her mad. But he never said anything like that to me. You just could tell that's what he was doing.
And then, like, I like some, like, I know your dad, I know your family, and then he's still like, radio silence. But then he warmed up.
Yeah.
And he was like, wait a minute, she might not like me because she knows my dad. She knows
I think I was enacting the wisdom that my mother gave me, which is don't say anything unless you got something important to say. And like when you came in the room, all the important things just left. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. I just didn't have anything relevant to the conversation. I'm just like, I'm listening and learning. And I did a lot of that, but I did a lot of learning. I don't know about listening, but learning for sure.
but you know, and I mean, it was great. It was great to have a team instead of being. Well, sometimes when you're by yourself, it's like, man, I'm by myself, and it was really nice to have everybody come in and start. I mean, and it's all the stuff that you've been watching, so you know. I mean, last couple of years, even through COVID, we were still doing stuff.
So trying to make content. We did one episode of Movie Men where I was doing one part somewhere and you were doing another part somewhere. And we're trying to make it work.
We were trying to make it work, and they were trying, because we kind of have a smaller office. It's not really that small. It's one of the bigger offices in here. But, you know, COVID-wise and keeping 6 feet apart, so what we tried to do is I worked some days and he worked some days, so we weren't in here at the same time. And we did that for a while, and about a year.
About a year, and they handled it really well because I was off in COVID land, literally, and they kept PIO, CCGTV running, and you know, I would get a phone call occasionally going, hey, what about this? I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to do, that's fine.
That sounds good to me.
That sounds good to me.
But she was busy at Health and Human Services for a whole year doing that, and a lot of people don't realize that or think of that. So she was really there. I mean, I think you come by here to do the shows that we did do, but we didn't have a lot of shows.
We didn't have a lot of shows. I came by to sign your timesheets. You got paid. You know, some things for finance, but otherwise.
How many times did we talk about like when is this going to be over?
Everybody was wanting it to be over.
How many more months do you have to be over there and not in your office?
And then, you know, you had the a week maybe that we might have wore a mask when we got back over here, and then everybody's like, I ain't wearing no stupid mask all day. I'm just going to die. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die. But I'd had all my shots and everything, so I wasn't worried about it.
So, I mean, we did that together.
So, we went through COVID.
We went through that.
That felt like... it didn't feel quite as long, I guess, my tenure here because of that. Because that kind of like...
Oh, that's true.
I don't know.
Because it was like remote working in
It
a way.
expedited whatever life you were living for everybody, I think.
And you know, all the concerts stopped. So everything we were showing was like reruns. From before. So... Yeah. So there was a lot of reruns. We're sorry about that, but you understand.
They made it happen.
I tried to go back and dig up stuff you hadn't seen in a really long time, so that way it looked new. So we did try to do that. But there was that. We've had new automation come in since then to run everything.
Yes.
Wow.
That was fun. Talking to engineers, picking their brain.
I don't know if he wants to mention that or not.
See what they
Engineers are a wild bunch. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm afraid Keegan learned some things that maybe he didn't need to learn.
He learned why girls wear glitter.
Sorry, Crystal.
Sorry for all that, but there you
go.
Hey, I spent 2 years in Orange County. I know the dark side of life.
There you go. He went to college. He knows what's going on. He knows the story.
We covered elections.
Oh my gosh, elections and telling people you'll be doing that next week.
I'll be doing that next week.
Oh, shucks. Yeah, I know that was fun because the first election I didn't really know what to do. So if you look back at those, I'm like, numbers, camera. Well,
I think we both were. That's the first one.
First time we're just trying to like read off. You'd think reading off a piece of paper would be easy, but it's it's a little intimidating when you're like. 26.
Yeah, how many of that?
How many is that?
But you're sitting there and you're doing that, and you just have to do it. And I mean, it's never pretty. It's never a pretty broadcast. So you just have to like go with it because you're going to be head down reading whatever piece of paper you got, and that's just the way of it. And that's the way any election I've ever been to has gone. So, and you're lucky to have all the numbers. So. And if you ever watch us, this is another friendly note for viewers, but if you ever watch us on election night, that's just the results for Caldwell County. That's not the results for the entire state.
Yeah.
That's not the results for the entire country. It's just the results for Caldwell County. So be prepared for that.
If we did all North Carolina, we'd be here for a few days.
We'd be here a while. And I will say, when I did broadcast, that Caldwell County at that time was the one that you never had by 10 o'clock at night. By the 10 o'clock news, we never had it.
Yeah.
We never had Lenore.
Everything's
in
just
Caldwell
spread
County.
out, I guess.
It was just, it was like, nope, not got that. So, and then you might have it by the end of the 10:30, by the time the news was almost over. But it was just one of those things. So we're pretty quick about it now. Chad's there, man. Chad Barnes is getting that done.
Shout out to Senator
And his
Barnes
team
and
over
his team
at the
over
Board
there.
of Elections, they're getting that done. So we get a lot quicker than we used
You
to.
learn new words.
New words. Yep. Gubernatorial. New words were learned.
And he was like, "What?"
I'm a political nerd, have a degree in public policy, and I'm throwing these words out, and Keegan's looking at me like I have three heads.
Yeah, I'm like,
He's like, "What are you talking about? Nobody cares." And so, they just want the results.
They just want to know, man.
They just want to know.
they
Winners
have
and
political
losers.
science at Liberty University.
But yeah, it's doing elections is a different kind of thing. So
Oh yeah, man. But we dipped our toes in many waters. I tried to give a variety of content.
So what other words did you learn?
What other words to learn? Well,
No.
yeah, no.
Amorum.
Sometimes. Morum. That's a morum for
That's a
sure.
morum. A morum's a new word.
Oh gosh, yeah. None of them they're four worded, lettered or whatever.
Mitford.
Mitford. Oh man.
Yeah,
yes.
he knows all about Mitford.
I didn't know who Jane Karen was until I came here, so that's good. I know that now.
I kind of learned with him. I didn't know that much
I didn't
about
know
it
much
either.
about Jane
I mean,
Karen.
I had people telling me, but I was like, okay, I didn't quite know. But she's a very nice lady, incredibly nice. And he had her as his desktop.
Oh yes, yes. I had Jane Karen. Jane Karen as my desktop screen. And Keith Smith.
Keith Smith. It was a
parents.
photo of Jan Karen and Keith Smith, and I was like, you can't get more Hudson than
My
that.
Hudson parents.
They're your Hudson parents.
I mean,
there you go.
How much
Didn't
wisdom?
you grow up in Hudson?
I did.
With Kevin
That's a
and
good
Crystal
point.
Matheson and their parents?
That's a fantastic point. Glad you pointed that out, Paige.
He also got to interview Mike at the library down there before Mike got moved to Lenore.
Indeed. Yeah, there was a while we were Hudson reporters. We'd drive down to film Jim Engelman and Bill Warren. Is that right?
Yep, Bill Warren.
Bill Warren.
Bill Warren at the gold mine.
But
they the town of Hudson, I got to give it to them. They utilize this channel. They get us out there, and so they're the ones that call. So everybody else leaves us alone, but we're the whole county's channel. But
So if
those folks
if you
in
want to use us, we're so
those folks in Hudson are savvy to the job, man.
Yeah,
they
are.
call us and they say, "What are you doing next Monday? We're gonna talk about the birthday sign." You know,
certainly that is.
and it's like, okay, we'll talk about the birthday sign. Or
The kiddie car parade.
the kiddie car parade.
in Hudson.
Yes, you taped that.
You
several
taped
years.
that.
Yeah, a
and
couple
we
years.
taped like a preview show, and it was incredibly hot.
It was incredibly hot. Chuck Raby ran from me the whole time with a microphone.
He just kept backing
He
up.
kept backing up.
And I'd set up the camera and I thought, I got a good shot. And then, I look in the viewfinder and he's, out of the shot. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what happened? And
We lost
he
him.
kept backing up the entire time. It's like, if you go back and look at that one, you see me go "Rrrt," and jerk the camera around to get him in picture. But it was incredibly hot, and we were standing beside the Hudson pool, and it was just like,
It looked so.
that
it was
pool
so
looks so good. Am I going to dive into that pool fully clothed and scare all the children? Maybe.
Maybe I thought about
Maybe. Jump off the diving board. But it was incredibly hot that day. And then we interrupted Jan Karen's lunch
it. Yes, we did.
to take a picture of the original kiddie car parade that was hanging in the hub.
Yeah.
And so we've had some adventures. We've had some crazy
certainly.
stuff. Now you guys went and shot the Pet Friends or whatever. What was that thing?
Oh, in Hudson? Yeah.
It was kind of in Hudson, but it wasn't. It's
yeah.
right on the edge.
Near the
It's right there
fairgrounds.
near the fairgrounds. And you guys went and shot that, and it was some kind of like thrift store and all this stuff. I didn't
Yes.
go. I
Yeah,
left them to do
it's
it.
a thrift store that supports animal care, foster parents. Yeah, that was we learned a lot. I also learned.
I think that was the first time you rode in my car. I think I was so scared because I was like, we took the back way. And I'm like, I got my buzz in my car. I better not wreck.
Really? You think
Yeah.
he was going to wreck?
Well,
You
never
ran
know.
with me, and you thought you were going to.
You never know. You never know.
I mean, okay, Keegan.
But fun fact about me, I've never wrecked my own car. I've always wrecked other people's cars.
Oh, at least you're concerned
Well,
with your
yeah.
own car.
I tried to pull up my sister's car and hit the pole, but my other cars have been great. I didn't hit anything.
That's one thing.
Well,
Wow.
knock on wood.
Yeah.
I don't want my Maverick to get hit.
Yeah. Leave the Maverick alone.
I think my favorite thing that I did here was go to Merle Fest. That was awesome.
Oh, see, and, you know.
Like that
Yeah.
is something that you don't like get to go to for free.
Yeah.
to. And it was one of my favorite guys. Churchill Simpson was playing, so I got to film a little bit of him. Margot Price, a lot of like big names that I wouldn't have got to film, but since I was here, I had the credential and I was official and went over to Wilkes County and filmed me some Merle Fest. So
There you go.
that was a good time. Of course, other things too. Like, what else did I do? Good Lord.
You dressed
Too
as a
many.
turkey
I
at
dressed as a
Halloween.
Turkey at Halloween. You did the,
Interviewed kids at the.
Yeah.
Interviewed the sheriff.
Sheriff's
dressed as
Night
a
Out.
a
Oh
turkey,
yes.
didn't you?
Oh gosh. I did that. I interviewed kids are my favorite interviewees because you can just literally go, "Hey," and then like put their microphone in their face and they'll just be like, "Oh," and that's the best interview you can have because people will watch it.
And now that you're leaving, who's your favorite commissioner? No, I'm just kidding. He's like, all of them. All of them.
Love 'em
I'm
all,
just
love 'em
kidding.
all.
Yeah, all of them.
They've all been very respectful to me.
And since you said this to the man, I can tell this story.
Okay, yes.
Donnie Potter was in here taping a show about trash cleanup, clean Caldwell. Keegan was behind the scenes doing all the magic back there. Donnie walks out of the room and Keegan looks at him and said, "Have you ever thought about being a politician?" And my chin just drops. I was like, and Donnie laughed and he was like,
Yeah.
"Well, as a matter of fact, I have."
I mean, he was just striking all the politician check marks. I mean, I figured, hey, throw this out here.
That's funny.
Oh man.
You
Yeah.
know, I was like, but everybody loves Keegan. I mean, that's
Yeah,
just
they do.
something
They really
across the
do.
board that they're just like, "Oh, where's Keegan?" And I actually heard this over the past couple of weeks. "What did you do to Keegan?" And I'm like,
What did
Yeah,
you
what
do?
did I
I was
do
like, oh, that
personally?
you're making him leave?
yeah, I'm like, I hope I've encouraged him.
Oh, nothing but encouragement. Y'all are amazing.
But, you know, I think you learned a lot of 80s references.
Yes,
Definitely.
80s references,
Even
70s
yeah, I was gonna say even
Even
70s, yeah. So
And they'll ask me, or they'll be talking about something like, "You remember that?" And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't watch TV in the '70s. I don't know." I mean,
yesterday it was Terry Toons
Yeah,
and
Terry
Mighty
Toons.
Mouse and Heckle and Jekyll.
Heckle and Jekyll. That's it.
So we were
Two
talking
crows.
about Heckle and Jekyll, and he's like, "Who's Heckle and Jekyll?" We're like, "Oh, dude, you don't know the Magpies? You don't know Heckle and Jekyll?"
But one thing I will give Keegan is we're talking about something from the 70s, 80s. He's Googling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like
on
on
Like
it.
this?
He's like, "You talking about this?"
You talking about this?
And like then he's reading it, like telling us facts about it, because we're just doing it from memory because we're old.
Yeah. We're before devices.
We're before devices, but he's Googling. He's like, "Oh, okay."
Hey, you gotta know. I mean,
Yeah, I know, but he was like, "Oh, okay."
I'm a visual person. I have to be able to see it.
Well, that's- yeah, I'm
ingrained
that
in my
way.
head memory, and I wouldn't know like the significance of Fred Kirby unless you told me about it, and that you were there to see it.
I
You
was
saw
there.
him at
I
Tweetsy.
saw it, yeah.
Yeah,
I saw him.
multiple times at Tweetsy.
And I even remember seeing him at Mac's department store or Mac's dime
Ooh.
store, yeah, because he would come and sign there, and which is over towards.
See, this is valuable information.
It's just across
folks.
from the City Billiards. It's like a
Yeah.
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 It used to be a dime store.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, back in the 70s.
Because Eric and I have a lot of these conversations.
Yeah. Now I'm older than her, but she still, and sometimes she'll tell me, "Nah, it's a little out of my wheelhouse," or something.
Yeah, that's out of
That's
my
a little too
wheelhouse.
far back.
Like,
And it's like, but she did mention G.I. Joe with Kung Fu Grip before we sat down, so
yeah, in my
that's an early
current,
70s thing.
current state, Kingdom Grip is kind of what I have right now.
Have you addressed to the people what happened to you?
I didn't. I shared a little bit in the show we taped earlier today. I fell. I literally walking down the street, fell off the curb.
Yeah.
I'm that.
But it's not. Now don't belittle the curb, because that curb. If you've ever been, you guys know I go to Tybrisa Books about once a week. But if you go to Tybrisa Books and you're over there where that sculpture is on West Avenue, there's like 3 curbs. It's like 2 or 3. It's a good set of steps. And I actually have been going to my car and going, oh man, because I've missed one or kind of tripped a little bit, but. Not like Paige.
I landed on my elbow, so.
And your head.
And my head and my knees, but my head probably left a big hole in the asphalt. So sorry, City of Lenore, you got another pothole to fix. But my elbow took the brunt of the damage, and we've had surgery, start physical therapy. Be back on the mend very soon. So.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't mean to make you relive trauma. I just wanted to say, since your absence, it's given me the opportunity to be more interviewee person, and I respect what you do, Paige. Because what, like when you're trying to interview somebody, the one thing that always throws you for a loop is like when everybody stops talking. And they look back to you, and you're like, "Oh, you think I know what's going on? I don't know what's going on. I'm just part of this, along with you." But yeah, that's the hardest part of hosting.
Well, I think sometimes it's hard when people want questions beforehand, because I sit down and have a conversation, much like we're doing right now, and they're like, "We want questions beforehand," and I'm like, "Ooh." And unfortunately for you. I had written questions for one of the interviews, and I'm like, here you go.
I knew exactly what to ask Chad that time.
But, so you're stuck with a script that you didn't even write.
I did highlight it for him.
Oh, no, that feels more prepared. You feel more confident because you have that preparation. That helps, for sure.
So yeah, but I mean, it's a difficult thing to do. I find though the easiest thing is, like Paige said, to have a conversation, but find the one thing that you're actually interested in, or what you think people at home will actually want to hear. What is this about? And sometimes we deal with people in different departments that don't necessarily talk to the public, and then you'll have to remind them to mention the event again, or here's the number to contact us, or find us on the county website, or you have to mention those things because that's our job. That's what we're supposed to do, make them look good. And so it is a skill set. It's a skill set. And
it's not that you think the audience is stupid. It's just like we have a TV station. You don't know when they're tuning in. So they might catch the tail end of it, or they might catch a certain part of it. So you got to repeat that for them.
The most notorious thing I've done hosting a show was talking to April from the Senior Center, and we were talking about conspiracy theories, and I apparently scared her very much. And she still mentions it every time she comes by. But, we were talking about, I think genetic testing, and I was like, well, if you're going to send that off, then they're going to have your genes from here on in. I never really thought of that, and really scared her, got her going. But anyway.
Sometimes it's where your mind goes, because I sit down and I'm naturally curious about what story this person has to tell me. And so, I'm listening to them talk and questions just pop in my head. But sometimes, like Eric said, like you get off on this rabbit trail and you're like, ooh.
Oh no, I didn't mean to go down this far.
I didn't mean for this to go here.
Yeah. But the worst is when you say, so you're in charge of the fair, right? And they say, Yep. And that's all they say. And you're like, okay, one word answer, man. Come here and talk to me.
I mean, we love the people who are like, especially Keith, shout out to you. You're the best.
Oh, my God. Keith Smith.
Welcome, Keith Smith. He's here to talk about the Hub's upcoming performance of fill in the blank.
Well, you
Keith
know, this
goes.
is the 48th show we've done in the 49th parallel with the da-da-da, whatever it is.
And I'm like, okay, check. He's told us what the show is. He's told us about the
history.
cast, the history.
Who wrote the show? Who's doing the lights? He'll tell you everything.
We talked to Keith Smith my first day.
Yeah, because he was at the Butterfly
He was at the Butterfly
Festival, and I was
Festival.
like, come on, we'll go talk to Keith.
You've been there from the start, Keith. You're the unofficial fourth member of the Public Information Office. Let's
He
be
really
honest.
is. I mean,
Or fifth member now. No, Mallory's here.
That's
we
true.
haven't gotten her on camera yet.
I know.
Yeah, we're trying to get Mallory on camera, but things keep working out. So
Yeah.
but she's been on camera before, so you'll see her again.
You'll see her again.
She'll be around.
Keegan, who's your favorite person to interview? Do you
Who's
have
my
a
favorite person? Jeff Link, for sure. Just because he's also like Keith Smith. I mean, you just say one word and he's gone. He's gone, and he's talking about stuff I'm interested in too. So
Well, and
That's
not
good
only
too.
that, he's worked in broadcast for so long that
Yeah.
he's let him go.
Let him go.
Say,
You
hey
got-
Jeff, how you doing?
Oh yeah, and I know this is like parallels to my new position, but Dr. Lackey.
Lowry?
Lowry.
So, I'm gonna get in trouble for that now. Edit that out.
We'll cut that part out.
Okay. Dr. Lowry was also one of my favorite interviewees because he can like talk about history stuff, and I'm like, I haven't read since like high school. So yeah, to like brush up on stuff, but he's very entertaining and interesting.
I filmed an interview with him talking about the history of narcotics, to which is a heady subject, but him talking about that to Rocky Brooks, and it was by far one of the most educational things I've sit through. And it was just, he knew everything.
Yeah.
He knew, well, this started with aspirin, and then this one, I mean, he went right through it, man. And it was like, oh, okay. So I knew he was very knowledgeable, very smart guy.
He is very knowledgeable, and like you say, very easy to talk to, because when he could get really heady and be like way above way above me. I'm not going to say anything about anybody else, but far beyond me. But he's not. He keeps it on a level we all understand, and that's one of the things that's important.
And he's friendly, and I think that's that's a big help when So
I will brag on Keegan. I think that's one of the assets you have is you're very friendly. You are a people person.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so much so that people, where's your partner? If I'm here by myself and they walk down the hall, where's your partner at? Especially Jeff Cardwell.
Oh, the Cardinal.
The Cardinal. Yeah,
Oh,
he'll
man.
stop and say, where's
Why are you
your
giving
partner
him airtime, Eric? My goodness, the Cardinal.
at? I see him everywhere I go. I went to the post office the other day and he was there. I'm like, I see him everywhere.
I'm just joking. He's
I
funny.
know he's a funny guy, but yeah, people ask me, are you by yourself today? Where's he at? And I'm like, no, he'll be here in a minute. He worked last night.
Yeah, he worked.
He worked overnight.
With both of these guys, they work at night. I mean, they're here at odd times.
Yeah, so you
And-
never know.
Even though I'm the supervisor, I don't like to schedule them during the day. I'm like, okay, but I also try to give them a wide berth around lunch. I try to be respectful of their times, and I don't like to be like, you must go to this concert because we need more concerts.
Yeah.
And
It's like, if you feel up to it.
Well, no, that's the thing about Paige, though. She's a thoughtful, caring boss, which is like the best type of boss.
That's true.
And like, if I've worked 2 weekends in a row, she's like, I'm not gonna make him film one more week.
yeah,
It's time for him to go out and experience the world, and not have to work on a Saturday. So I appreciate that very much.
Yeah. So she's very flexible about home life and everything. Because I've got the kids. You got to miss for kids. Put one in school. Put one in college, and the other one's still in high school. So you still have that stuff. And then it's like so very understanding. And then but then there's the commissioner meetings.
The commissioner.
What was your favorite commissioner meeting?
favorite commissioner meeting? Huh. Wow.
Or what was your favorite topic at the commissioner meeting?
I can answer this one for me.
It's got to be Dollar General, probably one.
Everybody wanting a Dollar General
Yeah.
in their neighborhood.
Or not wanting a Dollar
Or
General.
not really wanting
Yeah.
a Dollar General.
Yeah, that was
Dollar
a
Generals
heated
are
debate.
hot topics.
Oh my gosh.
I still think there ought to be one in Kings Creek.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The people gave them land. There's a store across the street. It's commercial.
A ways out there, let's be honest.
And you know, I'm living in High Brighton, and everybody's buying all our stuff at our Dollar General.
Yeah, they buy all our candy.
They buy all our candy and all our stuff at our Dollar General because there's not a Dollar General out in Kings Creek. First world problems.
Oh man.
I think we had some good cell tower meetings.
Well, yeah, cell tower meetings were great.
Cell towers.
Yeah.
You've done a lot. You've done DSS by yourself.
Yes.
So
yes.
you've been doing DSS board meetings. So
Yeah,
you got to know all those folks.
It's kind of wild, you know. Donnie Potter unhinged. He's out there telling people where to go, what to do. Nah, he's funny. What else? Oh man, there was one meeting where I forget if he was like talking about fire and brimstone or something. One pastor got a little, you know, animated, and that's always good. I think it's always good to go a little bit, you know, doom and gloom before the commissioners meeting, but that was kind of funny.
Well, you got a captive audience.
Yeah, you might as well
go for it.
You might as well go fire and brimstone if you got a captive audience.
Yeah, they usually do have like, you know, a local pastor come and I don't know, I guess bless the meeting is what they're doing. They do a little prayer before and then get right to it. So
yeah.
But anyway, but we've had a bunch. We've had a bunch of different folks come and do that.
Oh, wow.
And wow, all kinds of crazy stuff. I was trying to think of anybody else doing anything wild at the commissioners' meetings.
Nothing else really stands out, but
I
don't know.
Doesn't
I think
you
our general conversation for a commissioners meeting is how long is it going to be?
Yeah.
How long is the agenda?
And you never know.
No.
It doesn't matter what's on the paper, and you know it never matters. But you know, and I don't know why, because we're just like, your families are just like, you know, we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. They know they're not going to see you, so it's like, okay, what are we going to do? But here lately they've been pretty short, but we're getting ready to have a long one, I think.
I think if you look at the itinerary and you see David Lackey on there, very nice man. He's been very cordial to me every time I met him. But when he talks, you know it's going to be a quasi-judicial meeting. Yeah. And so you're strap in, folks. We're getting judicial in a commissioners meeting. It's a meeting within a meeting. It's meetingception.
It really is.
It is a meeting within a meeting. And then on top of that, Ronnie Hendricks that used to take the city council meetings. These are things he told me when I come to work here. He was like, have the room cold.
And they're very good at that.
And they're good. You have the room cold, and then the colder the room, the faster the meeting, because people want to get out. He also said to buy McDonald's French fries and bring them in so that everybody get hungry and want to leave. Very good advice if you're ever doing a meeting. And then, but you know, when I've lost my third thing that I was going for. Okay. But he would tell me those.
You can't talk too much about Ronnie Hendricks. You're gonna boost
But Ronnie's,
his head.
yeah, Ronnie's the guy. But he would tell me these things, and they all are pretty true. You know, so you want to get everybody in and out. Oh, that was. I was going back to David Lackey. Apologies to David Lackey.
Yes.
But he said if an attorney's on the agenda, then that's 1 hour, because attorneys charge by the hour. So if you have two attorneys talking, that's a 2-hour meeting.
Oh, that's good words.
That's a good thing to go
by.
So
I'm not crazy.
No, you're not crazy. You're not crazy, because the attorneys charge by the hour.
See, I'm still learning. It's the last show. I'm still learning. Lord,
just come to a commissioner's meeting. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you've seen them all, haven't you?
I've seen them all.
You've seen them all.
I've seen that movie before.
Yep.
And it always ends with Randy Church.
Out from behind the glass and see the commissioners meeting.
There you go. That'd be cool. I don't think I have
on the front row.
There you go. Sit on the front row. Just be like, hey, how you doing?
I'm not even brave enough to sit on the front row for a whole meeting.
Really? Usually the guest preacher sits on the front row before they get up.
I mean, I do when we have, like, we're honoring somebody's resolution, and I'll take pictures, and then I scurry back to my little seat in the corner.
You know you'd be given a hard time. It'd be like, well, Miss Paige Counts has graced her with this project. Would you like to come up and say something?
Is there a reason you're on the
PIO
front row?
of our county, would you like to come and say something?
Actually, they did that to me in my first meeting. They're like, would you like to come up and introduce yourself? And I'm like, not really, but here I am.
I'm Paige Counts. I'm the best part of this county. My God. My God.
I hope this is really not what it used to
No.
No, I never saw that, so I don't know. But you know,
you're more humble than that, but you should be. Oh my gosh, let's talk about room for dessert because. Okay. You can't like not talk about room for. Okay, so the first time she brought up room for dessert, it's like, yeah, just come on over to the house. So it'll be like, okay, we're going to Boss's house. She's gonna have a spread, and then we meet Chuck, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's Chuck, and he's just chilling out, and he's talking from the living room.
He's heckling.
So we got a live audience for the first time of a show we've done, and that was an interesting little tidbit.
yeah, that was fun. It was fun.
Oh, chocolate chip cookies, best place to start because it's still my favorite dessert of yours.
Oh yeah,
Thank
Gotta
you.
say,
oh yeah, that's her dish.
Ooh.
That's the one.
signature Counts dish.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
it.
It's the butter.
It's the butter.
It's a lot of
Believe
butter.
me,
It was
it's enough to
close.
kill a cat.
It was close to the creamsicle pie.
Oh my God!
Oh, the creamsicle pie was awful.
You guys hated it, and me and Rylan were like, that's not so bad. It's all right.
Like
It
if you
was-
couldn't taste the powder texture, it would be fine.
I
but-
pulled recipes off Facebook because I think ladies see recipes in their Facebook. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to try some. And it was a 2-ingredient pie, and it was Kool-Aid and Cool Whip or something. Maybe some cream cheese. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
It was awful. It was terrible.
It tasted like a creamsicle. I didn't have a problem with it,
No,
but it
it
was very
tasted like-
manufactured orange. That's all I'm going to
Yeah,
say.
it's-
Yeah, orange
It
number
was
8. or
orange,
whatever.
yeah, orange
It was-
cough
it
syrup
was-
or something.
I'm not
you know.
recommending that. I mean, if you like it, bless you. I hope you enjoy it. But,
It's just one of those things, but it was fun. It was fun
yeah.
to do that.
Because we filmed one of the room for desserts out in the extension office. So that makes me think of going and filming the fair, and like
Yes.
2 hours of cow content. That was pretty good. I have to put that on top of the thing because they were like showing off cows and stuff. And I actually Sarah, I forget her last name. Is it Moore? I think
Christus.
Is it Christus?
Yeah, Sarah Christus.
No, not Christus. The other one is that
the-
Moore?
Moyer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Moyer.
the 4-H agent.
4-H Sarah.
I went up to interview her, and she was like, "Why are you going to interview me?" She like, didn't want to be on the camera. I was like, "I'm sorry, but I'm going to make it." So I made her be on there. And that whole fair was hilarious. That was a good time. Even Seth Nagy showed up, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah. Now, speaking of that,
yeah."
you know, we talked about riding in Keegan's car because
Yep.
Keegan drove, but we went to see the cow with a hole in it.
Oh my gosh!
West
Yeah.
Caldwell.
Not my finest moment, folks.
I didn't know that they had that many stomachs, one, and they had that access because it was like right off the skin, and he was like coming out of the side of him.
He had some digestive issues, and so they cut the hole in him to, I guess,
Relieve gas, I
release
guess.
the gas.
He
in
was
his
releasing more than
stomach.
gas. There's something there
Yeah,
too.
there was. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fluid had come out. But anyway, the cow had a hole in it. But
Holy cow!
while we're there, we're taping, and Keegan's got. I don't know if you noticed or not because you always see Keegan from up here, but Keegan always wears really nice shoes.
Really, really nice.
And
shoes.
we were, you know, walking in cow poo. And so he's like, I'm going to let you handle that.
Yeah, get on in there.
Get on in
old
there. And I'm
Stafford.
like, all right. So I go in there and I'm taping Paige and all, and she gets bit by a donkey.
Bit by a donkey.
Yes, folks.
Yep. Bit by a donkey.
Bit by donkey. Not in essence severe, but I
Yeah.
did. It started nibbling on my hand.
Yeah,
Oh my
bit her
gosh.
hand real good, and she had a nice little welt where the donkey bit her while she was talking. And there was goats. We
Yeah.
played with the goats. But then we go back to get into Keegan's car, and we got cow poo all over our shoes.
Yeah.
Good thing I drove. Good thing I just cleaned out the car. A little cow poo in there.
I tried to wipe my feet on the grass.
I tried.
I tried.
But I mean, we had been in the barnyard.
We'd been in the barnyard, all around the barnyard.
Hey, it didn't hurt the resale value of the car. It's okay. It's all right.
And then somebody went back and assassinated the farm animals.
I saw that.
Was it you?
No.
Did you do it?
No.
My dad blamed me. He said those goats were chewing on your shoes and they got poisoned. I'm like, no, no.
It was a misbehaving youth. So we found out. A misbehaving youth.
So yeah, it was.
So, oh well. So they all died.
They all died.
They all died.
Lord
bless them.
So, but we have a lot of times. My favorites are when we all three go out to do something.
Oh yeah, yep.
Because you never know what's going to happen or what one of us is going to say that's going to inspire the other two.
We should have had like a list of questions, like worst interview, best interview.
What was your worst interview? Without
interview.
calling, like, don't call people out.
Oh, I've thought of one.
Really?
I thought of a couple that
please.
you didn't enjoy, but
Which one?
It was something you shot at the Hub with one of the artists, and you had to edit it quite a bit.
Oh yeah. It's just so damp. It's so damp and dark in there because it's old school, and they're not really thinking about lighting in a schoolhouse. It's more just whatever's practical, and they even think of the chicken wire and everything.
But it seemed like you could drive trucks between when he said stuff or something. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was a little challenge there. Let's edit that up. Let's get that. Let's get that snapping.
But then there are times when, like, you really connected with the person you're interviewing.
I hope so.
Like Adrian Scott's daughter.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is it Alexis?
Yeah,
I
Alexis.
think it's Alexis. Yeah, from the library.
I mean, that content popped because, like, you two, you're near the same age. you
Yeah,
had
usually
the
if they're a nut
energy.
like me, that would be a good time.
I mean, it was just a lot of fun to watch that because you had such good energy between the two of you.
And both of you were perking and
Bubbly about library stuff.
all happy.
Library stuff.
Talk about what's going on with the
As
library.
animated as you can be, talking about the library.
Yeah, and trying to think. Okay, so that's your best and your worst. What's another best and worst?
I don't
We
know.
could do. What's your favorite piece of equipment of everything we have?
Favorite piece of equipment?
Being as you are a technical person.
Yeah, exactly. Paige got me my headphones. I like my headphones. My headphones are probably my favorite piece of equipment.
Favorite piece
She got
of
me
equipment.
the Audio Technica.
By
but they're in
she
orange.
got me, he means the county.
The county paid for.
Yeah.
Paid
She
But
ain't
we
paying
did need
for it.
headphones. I'll give you that. So we needed headphones.
We needed headphones. Might as well get the best one.
But we got
as well.
But we went to the youth for the expert on the headphones.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we,
The GoPro for sure. Because
GoPro.
it's like open doors for me.
And you shot a lot with the GoPro. You know,
yeah, man.
a lot of stuff.
I've been to festivals and outdoors and waterfalls and fell in a creek with it. I mean, it's been through a lot. Still works.
But it's waterproof.
It is that. It is that.
And we got a lot of views on your waterfalls and the hiking. I mean, a lot of positive comments came out on
Hiking
that.
up High Brighton.
That's
A
'cause
lot
my
of people
daddy-
talked about
My
that.
daddy's just so smart. He's over there just flexing his knowledge muscle, and that's what people tune in to see.
My favorite one was when y'all were hitting softballs or something.
Oh yeah, and the
MLK
GoPro would like fall, like they're trying to swing.
They were hitting them and they were talking trash to each other.
Yeah,
That's what I thought was funny.
it is funny.
I don't know. I liked when you ate the fruit roll up.
Oh yes, that was incredible.
Roll up race. I enjoyed that.
Go to the very
good.
end. Oh wow! Just cue the montage.
I mean, there's
Dun, 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 dun.
so many things, and I mean, we really have had a great time.
Yeah, we've had a good
Oh,
run.
absolutely. Yeah, and y'all have been amazing to me. I appreciate it very much.
Oh, well,
both
we
of
appreciate you and all that you've done because I mean, you've seen the stuff that he's done. He could have just like said, I'm not going to do that, and we wouldn't have had the Vinyl Voyage. We wouldn't have had the sports commentary. We wouldn't have had a lot of stuff, and so I mean, you've done a lot.
Also, I didn't know what the Fiddlers Convention was before I came here.
Really? I thought that
like,
you played. I thought that you were a bluegrassy
No,
person.
no. I just was taught by Bob Hansen. I didn't go play with him.
Oh, you didn't go play? He taught me how to play. I didn't go play with it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, out in Happy Valley, man, out in the sticks.
Yeah.
Get in trouble
Out
out
yet
there.
another cow field.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me and manure,
Cow
man.
fields.
It's a match made in heaven. A little bit of poo. A little bit of poo and Keegan. There you
What
go.
did we learn about audio boards when you're at an event?
Oh yeah, well, usually,
trust 'em.
Yeah, don't trust 'em. If you plug in, it might be just a little too hot. A little too hot.
Better to just like go with the amps that are out there in the air and hope nobody.
Hope the camera picks up what you're hearing.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the only
Hope
one.
nobody cusses or
Yeah,
whatever.
That's a hope during a lot of things.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to listen to stuff real close and make sure.
On a sunny July day in the middle of the Blackberry Festival, you probably will hear a few curse words. I'll
Oh,
be
I'm
honest.
sure. Yeah. How could they not have this when it's a little colder? I've always heard that one.
Everybody gets a little
Well, it's
tense when
10,000
it's
degrees outside.
10,000 degrees in the middle of the summer. But I do remember that your dad had shot the fireworks for me. The city of Lenore did one year, and he just showed the fireworks, and so that's all I could see. So I couldn't see the people around him. I didn't know he actually got on the roof of the Mulberry Rec. So I was afraid that there were people around him. So I'm listening down the hall here to the fireworks going off as loud as possible without headphones. And finally, one of the ladies from mapping was like, "Could you turn that down?" But I was afraid that somebody was going to say something. Look at that one. You know, I was afraid that something would come up, so I didn't know about because I didn't shoot it. That's one thing. When you shoot stuff, you know what you're editing.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that kind of helps. You're like, oh, I remember this messed up right about here.
And you mentioned it, but I'll just give another shout out to old Pa.
Oh, yeah.
Dad's been awesome with his time and his effort, and he's helped me out a lot on different shows, and his knowledge is extensive. So it's always a good resource when you're related to one of the top, I don't know, 5 smartest people in Caldwell County.
Yeah.
I'll give him
I would
top
say,
5.
I'd say
Why
that.
not?
Yeah.
He is. I mean, with Keegan came the whole Matheson family. I feel
Yes,
like.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
we're
true.
a very hands-on group there, very family
That's
oriented.
true. But, you know, and when I first started, I think the first thing I edited here was the Christmas parade. And Charlie Little, that was here at the time, he was like, you know, well, Kevin Matheson hosts it and all this stuff like that. And he was like, you know, he was telling me about him and Ronnie shooting the stuff for the city. And so I'm like, okay. And we started watching it, and he was like, well, what'd you think? And I was like, no, he was really good, you know, because he was kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
he wasn't downplaying it, but he was like, you know, well, what'd you think? You know, he wanted to see what I thought. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And that's why last year I had to make you go out there and do it with him.
And I'm
Yeah.
so glad you did,
'Cause
because we
that's
didn't
like-
know at that time that Keegan
Yeah,
would
that's true.
find us
And I was
making a
like,
job.
yeah, we got to do that. So, you know, and I mean, that to me, I was just like, no, it's got to be that. It's got to be that. So,
And I think it is easier to do something like that when you have somebody to banter back and forth with, because you're sitting there trying to think of something to say, and you're like, and here's the fire truck.
and sometimes they're real slow coming down, especially in a parade. They're really slow coming around the corner, and it's like, then they'll stop, and you're like, you know, you're like, okay, look at the lights on that one, or so, you know, what do you got to say, you know, for the nighttime parade? So, you know, but it's been an education for everybody.
Absolutely.
been.
What an adventure.
So we've
it has
had
been.
fun. We've had
yeah.
a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, every day's been a new adventure. We've shot everything from a funeral procession to to concerts, to commissioner meetings, and we've got some.
We survived.
Yeah,
We survived.
We did it all.
Yeah, and there's some things that you're just like, we survived it. And other things are like, yeah, that was really fun.
yeah,
Usually the only times I think of we survived it is when it's really hot or something.
that's true.
Yeah, but it's really
I'm
hot.
not, the parades didn't bother me. But you did all the parades. You did all the parades one weekend.
Yes, I did. The whole gamut.
He
That's
did.
a great.
He
that's
did.
a great Saturday to spend. So you
Well-
can like start.
Back up. You
Yeah.
did Friday night, Lenore.
Oh yeah.
He did them all in a row.
Now tell Saturday's schedule.
Yeah, so we Friday, you start out, you do the sawmills, then you drive to Granite Falls, and you do the Granite Falls, and then you drive to Hudson for the main event. And it's the same parade. But, you know, at least, you know, they add a few spices here and there, like Hudson had the Jeep people. That wasn't in the other.
Yeah,
ones.
there's different things
there's
in each
just a little
one.
thing that spices up. You're like, well, you know, I came for the Jeeps. or whatever the spice.
I don't know why, but it seems to me like Granite was always more excited.
Granite,
people get excited.
The thing that Granite does that nobody else does is they have the little snow thing.
Well, they do have the
they
snow
do the snow
thing
for the parade, and they do it for the
tree lighting.
Yeah. So they have the little snow machine. So if you guys want to step up your games in Sawmills or Hudson, get you a snow machine.
Yeah. Well,
the kids love it.
But people love Sawmills if you go to the Sawmills parade because it is early in the morning, it's cold, but that's their first gig to throw out candy. You get more candy at Sawmills parade.
There you go.
Then you get it. You see all the little kids getting more candy. They get a lot more candy. By Hudson parade that afternoon,
everybody's out of candy.
Everybody's.
Or there's a kid trying to actually hit you with it.
Yeah, with a jawbreaker.
Try to hit you in the head with a jawbreaker because they've been riding in parades all day. But,
oh man.
But that is a part of the fun. It's like,
No doubt.
But I did it one time by myself, and then my wife wanted to come with me.
Oh yeah.
And she goes, no, I'll go with you. And by the time we got to Granite, I think halfway through Granite, she was like, "Yeah,
oh, you had fun
this
with
is
this."
no." She stayed, but she was like,
"Yeah,
this is a day."
Yep.
Because as soon as you leave one, the other one, you get up to the other one, get your camera set up, and the other one starts. And I mean, it's like boom, 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 boom. And it seems like there's a lot of time between them. There's really not. And so you really are going boom, 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 boom. And she was like, "This is a day. This is a day, man."
Sorry.
And I don't know if you ate anything or not.
What, food?
Yeah, ate any lunch that day or anything because it's kind of hard. It's
parade days. I didn't really eat much.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to do something. So you're like, I think I had crackers in my pocket or something.
Well, you're eating candy the whole time. So you
well, if you can reach down and not get in front of your camera.
Yeah.
Which that was the aid of having the wife there. It's like, hand me that Kit Kat. So. And she would. She's like, I got a Kit Kat. I got a Kit Kat. I got this. I got that.
Yeah, there are some things we do that is like pack your lunch.
Pack your lunch. Pack your lunch. And she does stuff that it's like she don't even have time to pack her lunch. So it's like if you find something to take to her. It's like we had biscuits this morning. Tax had biscuits for free, so I'm going to give you a biscuit.
Here's your biscuit and a water.
Here's your biscuit, your phone charger, and a water. This will make you survive. So,
and it did.
And it did. It got her through. And she was like, I didn't even realize I was hungry until you brought that stuff. And it's like, that's just part of it. It's just part of it.
I'm getting better. I'm learning to keep a to-go bag in my car.
Oh, wow. That's better than I ever was. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Tough luck.
That's all you need.
Yeah. Change for the drink machine.
Change for the drink machine. Change for your life. A little bit of Bible action.
And I'm going to say, I still feel guilty. We went to some chamber event, some big luncheon, really nice luncheon. As we mentioned earlier, Keegan is vegetarian. And not only is he vegetarian, but he's
a picky vegetarian.
He's a picky vegetarian. We had these beautiful plates of food, and I don't remember everything that's on them. Keegan's eating rolls. I mean, rolls.
Yep.
So Eric and I are looking over at his plate. We're like, I'll have that.
I'll have that.
I'll have that.
You're not eating the creme brulee? They had creme brulee.
They had creme brulee. We were like...
I was just impressed that we had creme brulee and they had actually baked the top of it with the blowtorch and everything.
It had fruit. It was
over the top.
Because it was the college food program had done it. And it was very fancy and very good.
But I felt like such a pig that day because I was just eating my plate and Keegan's.
And we realized that he was eating just the bread.
Yeah, it's like he's just eating the bread. And like the mom in me comes out and I'm like, try that.
Try that.
Try this.
Let's have a little bit of that. Have
Just
a little bit of that
bite.
Kool-Aid cake. Have a little bit.
Have a little bit. What was we had the key lime pie in the Kool-Aid cake.
Yeah.
So the key lime pie was good. So that's why you can't even think of a complaint about the key lime pie.
No.
So, but you mentioned that orange creamsicle and get you going.
No.
And he's allergic to everything.
Oh, yeah. Here's my boss of the year moment.
Yeah.
We were going out to animal care. It was animal control on this trip. And to talk about cats. Adoptable cats. Nobody tells me Keegan.
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew Keegan
Nobody
was
knew.
allergic. We go into the cat room, and I got pulled into the director's office to talk to her a few minutes. So I'm in there probably way longer than I should have been. Keegan's in the cat room. His head is swelling up, like everything's closing down. I still don't know this is going on. We tape our show. We start back here. Finally, we get back. Keegan never tells me he's allergic. Not a word. Eric goes, you know Keegan's allergic to cats. I'm like, great.
I didn't know until that day, and I have cats all at my house, so I'm like, I'm sure he's getting cat dander off me. But anyway, we were in the room with the cats and waiting on Paige, who's waiting, who's been commandeered, and he's like, my throat's swelling up. And I'm like, what do you mean your throat's swelling up? Well, I'm allergic to cats. And I was like, oh, okay, well, get out of here. And so he left the cat room for a little bit, but he made it through. But no EpiPen.
I think animals are cute from a distance. I mean, they're great.
Yeah.
So we made a rule that Keegan doesn't go out to
animal care,
animal care, yeah.
Hanging at the animal care.
He can't be hanging there.
Much as I love Richard. As much as I think he's a man.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. He's a great guy.
Keegan, any final words, any memories, anything you'd like to say to our viewers?
I've had the most fun working at this job, and I appreciate the people I've met, and I consider these people family. They've been good to me, and will continue to be good to you people out there in Caldwell County. And also, I think probably when I remember back, I think that some of the best shows were shows like this, where we would get together and we'd talk about Christmas, we'd talk about Halloween. That's always good to like reminisce, and I'm gonna miss every part of this job. Gotta be honest. I had an exit interview this morning, and they asked me, now what was the worst part of your job? And I was like, I can't say anything.
Wow.
Negative.
Wow.
And I'm like, what am I
Not
doing?
paid.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Jobs, you don't usually have anything. I mean, there's never a job where you're like, okay, I have nothing negative to say. So I'm glad I found this place, and I was given the opportunity to work here and be with you fine people.
Well, we'll give you something negative to say.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
sure.
I'm just kidding. Now that you've done your exit
got a couple
interview.
more days.
Now that you've done your exit interview, we'll give you something negative to say. No, I mean, it's been easy to be good to you because you're such a swell person, and you're so neat, and I mean, he taught me more about, like, I went back and got into vinyl because of this guy, and like started buying vinyl, and realized I wasn't ever listening to it, and got back out of vinyl. So yeah, we have our plastic museum that we've had, which is coming down. Your half's been coming down, and but we have a lot of toys in the office, and
if you ever want to be enabled to spend money you don't need, just come and talk to me or Eric.
That's true. Yeah, we'll find you a waste of money, just like that. Yeah.
Here's a hobby, and you won't have money, but at least you'll have a good time.
You'll have a good time. You'll enjoy it.
And it's been neat for me to, especially watch you guys bond, because you have built such a rapport with each other, and as as the person that's looking to where do we go from here, I'm like, how do we can't replace your personality. We can't replace your spirit in the office. It will be somebody different, but
you can't replace the broom that I call my hair. You can replace that. I mean, like, this is locks that you can't find anywhere else. No,
and I think a lot of people talk bad about your generation and about not having a good work ethic, and that's not at all what we found. I mean, that's the polar opposite of Keegan. I could be like, Keegan, I need you to go up on the roof and stand out and shout down at the people on the street, and he would do it. He would not question why I was asking him to do it. He would do it.
We'd go up that little skinny ladder to go up to the top of the roof.
I might be unemployed today, but hey, he would do it.
But that's because he was raised right.
Yeah. Yes.
I will say that. It was raised right. So
and like I say, We did get the whole Matheson family.
Yeah, we did. We got everybody. I mean, I even did some stuff with your sister before you came because she was working with City of Lenore some as an intern for a
And I
while,
think
doing the
you-
same thing.
Yep.
Doing the same thing.
Yep. She's
And
a
I
mess.
think you roped her into doing some of your
Yep.
excursions.
Yeah, we went out and did some stuff, but watched her shoot a gun or two. That's something. Wow. I can't believe we armed Mathesons with a camera and a gun in this job.
Got it.
Some dangerous living there, Paige.
Hey. Hey.
All perks of the job.
All perks of the job.
So,
But I appreciate you guys and being very thoughtful. I mean, you had a whole show for me. I got my own camera. Look at that.
Got your own camera. Got your own close up. But I mean, we appreciate you, and we just wanted to say goodbye and let the folks know. I mean, because they're going to be like, "Well, where's Keegan at?"
Yeah.
So we want to kind of tell them, a little bit.
Which I mean, I ain't dead. I can come back.
He ain't dead. He can come back. The door's always open.
Yeah,
he ain't dead.
come back and film something. A
Yeah,
little
he
something,
come back and
something.
film something. We film all kinds of different people in the county. It's not just us. It's other folks out there. And you can come back and be one of them other folks.
I could be.
That's right.
It could be. Indeed. I could be on the
Doors
receiving
open.
end of an interview.
Ooh.
That's true.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
don't
could be
know
like, "Welcome, Keegan Matheson."
That's how you'd greet me.
Welcome, Keegan Matheson, and he would go, and we
There
would
you
be like,
go.
"Uh-huh,
Oh yeah. Okay.
okay." Tell us again the phone number where people can reach.
Yeah, exactly.
And that would be the interview.
Yeah. If you can tell us the phone number, then
828.
website.
Don't call me after 5.
that's it. That's it.
Keegan, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you've done for us, for the people of Caldwell County.
Yeah. Thank
It's
you.
been a really good run.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And as we say goodbye to Keegan, we want to say thank you for watching Caldwell County Today.
Bye.